a Vanguard until a Hood of Defiance is up. We see a bit of a rotation up top, though. Looks like they might want to look for some punishment.
Yeah, I mean, Mazzaros can just stand here and defend for ages on this Bristle. He's going to try and maybe harass him out a little bit on this Ember, but no, he won't even bother. Probably just not worth his time. Mazzaros will continue to chase down KP. Meanwhile, mid lane, Fearless, he's going to be fine. KP, he'll TP out as well. Mazzaros unable to get the kill, and everyone just kind of TPing out. Now Mushi's being chased down by Leona. Meanwhile, mid lane, SMG, they're going to get the push start on the T1 mid tower and trying to force the rotations in. Who's going to be there? Spike out, Fearless. Not going to Vortex yet, but there's your Hexa. Omni was committed, but it's on the creep wave. Mid one does not kill anyone with it. Here comes Mazzaros on the Bristle. Mushi's going to be targeted. They don't have the nasal goo, but they'll go after the tombstone. Mushi, he does not have soul rip to heal it up, so they will be able to take it down, but they'll get Leona X instead. They get the Abaddon kill. They do force everyone to motivate to rotate into that mid lane. Now everyone just will disperse.
Yeah, it's a really good defense out from Motivate Trust SMG. They were lacking a couple of tools to really take and force a big fight there. And KP had to blow his RP TPing out from top because when he was trying to skewer away, he actually caught Mazzaros. So he wanted to just bail out, needed to blow the RP. It is a fairly long cooldown to have to expend just for a TP, and that just meant Motivate could get the defense off. Now they're going to look for a shove-in. They're the ones eyeing mid now.
Fearless. Zip in, he found Mushi. Trying to get some D-wards off, but looks like Mushi probably just going to forfeit his life away here to Fearless. He'll try to buy it a bit of time, but eventually the Storm will be able to take the kill. And well, Fearless is very close now to the Orchid, which is going to be a pretty big cause of concern for SMG. Meanwhile, the group up mid, then that mid tier 1 tower, KP, has no RP available. Mazzaros is literally just going to turn his back and let the siege creep do the work. And it's looking quite nice. He comes with the rest of the team. Mazzaros going to be targeted at 2 and on the mark. Mazzaros is still falling wide open, not low enough. He's going to be okay. Leona X, the one to drop first. Now Nia keeps going for more. He wants Q on the Lion. He's going to try and run, but the Earth Spike is out from Arfu. Mazzaros, he's been purged up mid one, he's got the defusal blade, and now the RP in from KP. No games here from the Magnus. And SMG, they're onto the mid tier 1 again. In fact, they're all TPing out. The mid one, he'll be the only one to commit the TP fully as Nia. He'll stick in the mid. Jackie's going to come back into the Morphling. Yes, the chain's out, Jackie. What can you do with this, Fearless? He's going to zip in, but the Remnant the other way now from Nia, and he's quite healthy. He should be just fine. MTG can't lock him down long enough. And once again, MTG are back into that tier 1 mid tower. I suppose without the RP up, they feel a lot safer, but Jackie's going to be careful. They still have a lot of damage output. There's your lift up. KP, he could not get the skewer off. Skewer. Spike is there on the Ember. And now SMG group up. These mid tier 1 towers just not going to last very long between these two teams, apparently.
Yeah, they just constantly force the issue out. It's been really good for SMG though. They take a 6-2 kill lead. They start to invade the triangle and they can keep punishing Leona.
Leona's having a very tough time, still level 5. Just about to hit level 6, but he won't quite get there in time. And I'm going to say, John, SMG, I mean, you talked about it during the pre-draft conversation. They weren't having a very good time throughout the qualifiers, but right now in the lower division, they are undefeated. And well, at least during this game 1, they are looking very strong.
They definitely are. They're playing around their timings real well. KP is not hesitating to just use RP as needed. Catches one, that's fine. Uses it to TP out safely, perfectly fine. Issue for Motivate Trust, offlane Bristle just does not have teamfight presence outside of tanking up. Like for KP, he can set up with RP, he can threaten with Skewer, he can empower his Magnus. But for Mazzaros, all he does is soak damage and hopes to get some Quilt Spray stacks up. there's really not much AoE control from Motivate Trust outside of a really good Earth Spike from Q. So there's a lot of pressure on the Lion here to set up in the 5v5s, and it's a lot harder for Lion to do that. Like, we've seen the patience from Afu on his Rubik to steal out the Earth Spike, and that's enough to make it very hard for the Lion to fully commit without knowing where the Rubik is. So it's really hard for Motivate Trust to actually approach. And for SMG, they open up the map, they're going to look for more, they're grouping up top. Nea does have the Orb of Corrosion up along with the Phase Boots, so he hits a lot harder. There's not even an Empower up on him yet, but once you start playing with that combo, right click start hurting a lot more. Saving up for the quick Manta, and once you have the Manta, you're going to be protected from that Orchid. So they got the counter items to the Storm timings here, and they're just finding everything they'd want. There is a bit of a clump up from Motivate Trust in that Radiant jungle, getting some safe farm out for all their cores. It's a very limited spot for all 3 cores to farm in though, so it's not as efficient compared to SMG's movement across the map.
No, it certainly isn't, John.
Radiant's bottom
MTG, they're going to try and force in this bottom tier 2 a little bit. Meanwhile, SMG still just kind of happy to bide their time and keep the farm up. How's mid one doing? He's very close to that Manta now, and Nia's going for the exact same thing. Just wanting to try and counter out the Orchid that is already there by Fearless. The Manta is going to be the item choice for both cores on SMG. Meanwhile, MTG, obviously for them, they are going to be heavily reliant on Jackie farming up the Morphling, but for now, you kind of want to see them make a play. Like, you've still got this Bristleback that you can abuse early on. But it's SMG that are the ones that are kind of initiating team fights here. In fact, they're going again, mid lane, Masaros, having his mana drained by mid one. Loses pretty much all of them. So there's about 200 left. Food sticking around. Masaros gonna give him the nasal goo, but Nia give him a sleight of fist back.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
You can already see as the game goes on, that Diffusal Blade from mid one is gonna be a real nuisance for Masaros. Like, he has the Soul Ring and he has the Wand, but at some point it is going to get rather frustrating just having no mana in the middle of a team fight.
Yeah, it's just not... It's not ideal for the Bristleback, and I know you're saying that you can play around Bristle right now. They really... I don't think they can. Like, the threat of team fight coming through from SMG sticking his 5 is just too strong. A Bristle can't overcome all of the spells being thrown out, can't overcome the decay stacks building up, can't stop the Soul Rift from just healing everyone up as well. There's just much more for SMG to play with on hand. Whereas for Motivate Trust, they need to keep farming. They need this E-Blade up on Jackie, they need the BKB up on Fearless, and even with the BKB, the threat of RP is still really big. So you take out the control from Chains and the lift, but KP, if he finds a good angle, can still lock in that Storm.
Ross, he's going to get pincered in here. He's in a pretty big, awkward position. Shockwave, Masaros losing a lot of HP. Fearless going to go onto KP. Tombstone has been dropped on. KP's just fine. He might just turn here. Leona. Borrow time going to be popped. KP still looking for the Storm. Not going to be able to find it, but they'll take the Abaddon. I'll tell you, John, SMG, they're making it look easy right now. Motivate Trust, they are still yet to find an answer.
Yeah, it's just... They're not able to fight. They just need to stall out and farm. They pull out their core, so the only hero they've been losing is really Leona X, which is great. Just losing the Abaddon Central Breath. Masaros.
Yeah, he's getting dived underneath the tier 2 tower now. They need some help. Fearless going to come in right onto Arfu with the silence out. We'll try to get rid of the Rubik, but he can't even get that. The heals are there. He does finally get him, but in the backside, the RP was committed. They lost Q already. Onto Jackie now, who's trying to take down KP. He will be able to get him, but mid one gets Masaros. So a very even kind of team fight. Both Pos 4s and offlaners going down. The MTG, they do defend that tier 2 mid tower. I suppose with the Ethereal Blade now up on Jackie, he can start to get involved in this Morphling. But it still feels like SMG are finding the better end of things.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones forcing the issue. It's Motivate Trust on the defensive, and in general, that's not where you want to be as a team. You want to be the ones forcing SMG in awkward spots. It gives you more opportunities to cut them off, more opportunities to see your enemy make some mistakes. and for the most part, MTG can't force that out from SMG just yet. They are kind of keeping this game even though, despite being at a massive kill deficit at nearly 20 minutes, and they're only about 2k behind. So they're keeping up in farm. Jackie's getting a ton of farm out. Masaros and Fearless are pretty even in terms of build-up, and it's really KP that's playing behind for SMG. He's even going full utility on the Magnus, going for the Glimmer Cape instead. They do go for the Roche here though, and this one is something Motivate Trust absolutely can't give away. They need to spot it out, but they don't really have the best vision around the pit.
No, I mean, they're right around there, but they do not know this is happening. Even with KP walking out of the Roshan pit, they still don't see it because there's no wards on the right side. Maybe now they do, but it's going to be too late. Mid one can just finish off the Roshan. He'll take the Aegis. And of course, Motivate Trust probably going to have to back out of this jungle now as Jackie is going to be spotted mid one. Defuse him up. Instead, Leona going to be targeted, but Shockwave will not reach. But I suppose perhaps with that Aegis up, you get a bit more farm up, and then you can move into that mid tier 2 tower. Bit of a trust. They're going to be forced to respond to this. I just don't know how they're going to respond.
It really relies on a couple things. Masaros living long enough for everyone to come in, and Q working this Blink Dagger. He's got the Blink in the line that's flying out. So there's some opportunities now for Motivate Trust to actually find the back line, maybe take care of the Undying or the Rubik. Heck, even the Ember, if you can catch him out with the Hex, would be a really good pick-off to start fights with. And they just need to play around that. It's all down to Q and onto Fearless to follow up. A really good scan here from SMG does at least give a signal out to Nea. He's not going to be caught out here, and he can just kind of bait out with his Manta style.
Well, they're going to fall for it. Earth Spike is out. Zip in. Oh, they'll realize it. They didn't really commit much. It's fine.
Top tower is under attack.
Top tier 2 though is not going to be so fine. Still Masaros. He's going to try and apply some pressure in the mid tier 2 tower, but he needs a creep wave.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Now SMG, they can go high ground. If Motivate Trust do not back off, mid one can just keep going with the siege creep. He's going to force the TPs back, it seems.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
There you go. There's one from Q, a second from Jackie. And they kill the Jug. Q has the Hex. Oh, he got a creep.
Oh, Q.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Is under attack.
We've all done it. We have all done it. Fearless, he's going to zip in, look for KP. He will find the Vortex. They do at least get something for their trouble. It's a little bit unfortunate there on the Hex, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on the line. He's the one who really needs to start these fights for him. Didn't quite get it there, so SMG's going to be happy with that. It would have been pretty awkward anyway. Mid one has Aegis. KP was close enough that if they did fully commit, I think KP might have just ran in, RP'd, and tried to stall out ASAP for his Jug, and could have ended the same way. He'd spin afterwards, and then the Magnus is the one to die. So maybe not too much loss there for Motivate Trust and Theoreticals. Still opens up the map a bit more. They can start going a bit forward. There are some really good wards from SMG though, so they have seen all the movements out from Motivate Trust. Need some D wards down. They do at least take the Cliff ward. This ramp ward still going to be standing as it is outside of that sentry range. There's still a little bit of information there for SMG. They're farming up really well. Mid one's almost at the point where Scotty's going to be up. Once you have that, the strength shifting on the Morphling's not going to feel amazing. The sustain coming out from the Abaddon's not going to feel amazing. With a Scotty on a Jug, you're also very close now to having a blink on KP. I say that, but it just means he's queuing it up. You are getting these tools on hand, and SMG, with the vision they have, are looking for a smoke play.
I don't blame them. They understand how strong they are right now, and MTG still do not have an answer, it seems. Mid one, he'll get started on the bot tier 2. Masaros going to be burned up again. They want to drain the mana straight away. Masaros, he's almost already out. Mushi with the tombstone going to slow him down. Mid one still going, and now Masaros is completely out of mana, but he will have a soul ring to use. Q, he'll go for a Hex onto the Jug. Earth Spike not going to be on target. And Masaros, Jackie, oh, he's been RP'd. They've got the Morphling, but the Aphotic Shield is going to save the day. Meanwhile, mid one, he's dropping low. He'll go for a spin. Fearless, he's in now. Onto the backside, but he's been caught out. He'll zip away.
Radiant's middle tower.
They get going. Spike is there. They've caught the junk. Mid one is somehow still alive, though. They did not take out the Aegis. He's finally going to go down to Masaros. Mia and Mushi both already dying, so now Motivate Trust. They could definitely keep going. They are a little bit low on mana, but Masaros, he does not care. He's in. Mid one, going to be targeted. No, he'll go after Leona. Jackie will keep focusing the junk, but again, the creep wave going to come in. Still Jackie taking a fair bit of damage, but mid one, he is surrounded and should eventually go down. But KP trying to help out. It's just not going to be enough. Mid one, still trying to run. Masaros getting lifted up. Mid one, he's going to be all right. Or is he Q? He's trying to have a look. Instead, they're going to go after Afu. Very prolonged kind of team fight. It's still going to lead to basically 3 kills on the side of SMG. Mid one, he lost the Aegis, but he does not lose his real life. And
Stupendous!
well, it looks like Motivate Trust, they're starting to find their footing here in game number 1.
Yeah, I think it boiled down to one major factor there for SMG where it went a bit wrong. Mid one, he managed to burn off all the mana of Masaros, but then he kept hitting the Bristleback. Like, once you take care of the Bristleback's mana, you have to look elsewhere. You need to burst the other heroes. The line has to go ASAP. This time around, Leona X lived through most of that fight, so he managed to get a lot of uses out of his Aphotic Shield and Mist Coil, which just pushed and Motivate Trust right over the edge and surviving. So you need to be able to kill off the supports as the Jug or any core. Ignore the Bristle. Like, you get full value from the Diffusal once you burn down his mana. But after that, the damage output of mid one doesn't feel amazing. Like, with Manta and 2 parts of the Ultimate Orb, it's nice, even with Empower, but it still feels sort of lacking. The Crimson Guard on Masaros actually really saving Motivate Trust as well, building up that durability against the physical damage. So I think just some target shifting in the middle of the fight is going to be necessary. Like, once you take her, like, leaving a Bristleback alive with no mana, it's not a problem. Like, he does nothing. He's a melee creep that just runs around wanting some attention. That's exactly what SMG would want, and hopefully that's something they kind of tweak in the next fight.
Yoda. Let's show up, Fearless. He'll be in that mid lane as well. Mid one, gonna get started on the Abaddon. Q is there with the heads up. Into the Imperial Blade. Jackie might blow him up. The Glimmer Cape is there. They cannot get him. The junk is gonna be fine for now. Mid one is gonna be able to spin away. They don't have the damage output. And they did not have the protection either. Mushi, he will die. Earth Spike out from Afu is gonna stop Masaros. Where was the dust?
I think it flew out. I think Fearless had it.
Okay.
Actually, I saw a dust fly, but it looked like they mistargeted afterwards. Maybe, again, target issues with the positioning of the camera, the angle there. They were hitting the Undying instead. And I think there was just miscommunication coming out from Motivate. They might have felt confident they had the kill, so they wanted to be efficient with that small window of control. Cost them in the end. Undying is not the biggest kill for them. SMG again scraping by the tips of her fingers there and just managing to stay in. 11-9, 1k lead now up for MTG. They can start applying some pressure on the lanes. They've got Lotus Orb to save now on Masaros. They can have even more frontline presence on the Morphling, just putting that on him. Jackie saving up for his Scotty, so you're going to have a Scotty versus Scotty on these cores. We need to see mid one, I don't know, get something else up. Like, he needs some damage. He's going for the Abyssal Nets. I'd say a Butterfly might feel really nice here, just to have some damage output. If not, Chuck's a strange one, because MKB is alright on him. It also feels like a bit of a weird slot if there's no evasion, so maybe a Maelstrom into Mjolnir would be really good for mid one, actually. Just going into more damage for the Omni, it just kind of lacks. He didn't manage to pop it there, though, so it wasn't a major issue in that fight. But Motivate Trust, they smoke up again.
That they do. Hanging around that their side of the river.
Over here!
Wanting to cross yet, Fearless. It's off the haste room bottled up. Leona gonna avoid the stun out from Afu. I think SMG, it's almost like the tables have turned and SMG are the ones that don't really want to fight. You have all the ultis up, so you might want to see a smoke soon from SMG.
Yeah, they're They're just waiting for that blink. KP just farms it up now, so it's flying in, and this is the moment where they need to smoke, get a good RP, even onto 2 heroes is going to be enough, and just force the issue out. Motivate Trust, they can play without worrying about cooldowns. They do have a fresh BKB here on Fearless. It's down to 8 seconds, of course, but that's long enough for the Storm to still have that great presence out, so you'll have to watch that. It's got the Kaya up, saving up for the Sanj next to have that added strength, added status resist. But there's that smoke on SMG.
And Mid One going to move in first. They kill shots off. They found Fearless. That's a massive target. The Storm is gone. Now the RP up, but it's only on Q. Still, they'll get the Lion and make sure that he won't be able to get those disables out, as now MTG have no way to fight. Just need to run, borrow time. Going to be popped out by Leona X, but the run of Atos is going to fly in, and Leona X is gone. A triple kill out for Nia, and Roshan is up. I don't believe they've scouted it yet, but they should go have a look, and I'm sure Mid One will be very happy with what he sees.
Yeah, just very well played from SMG. Motivate Trust, I mean, they're kind of spaced out, so the RP is never big. It also means that the saving graces you have with the Dispels on your Abaddon, with the Lotus Orb on Nosteros, couldn't fly out to save Fearless. So very well played coming out from SMG. And this time around, they're going to have Aegis, Cheese, and the Ag Shard. So we'll see who does get priority. It could be really good in Mid One, just to give that Blade Fury move speed and random damage, which is really strong. But you could also opt to maybe give it to KP as well. The Horn Toss can kind of help you with the setup. It looks like they will just slide it through to Mid One, so faster movement in Blade Fury, going to be even harder to catch out the Jug when he does get that spell off, and we've seen Motivate Trust kind of struggle with that. Not going to get any easier here. 2k lead now up for SMG, and Motivate Trust have to be careful. They know there's no RP, but they have to fight against Aegis Cheese.
Ross just kind of standing still, hoping nobody notices him in the Invis rune.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
KP. Cape out, sentry down, they've got him. They've got the Magnus, but Fearless has been lifted up. He'll get the BKB off. There's your finger, KP, he's gone. Onto Arthur now. That'll be your Rubik dead as well. SMG not willing to fight without the full squad, just want to run now, but Ethereal Blade, nice man to dodge out from Mid One. To avoid the Ethereal, MTG, they may have to just kind of give up on this chase. But they already got 2 nice targets, and with that they can force the mid-tier 2 tower.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's a bit hard, and SMG didn't have RP up anyway on KP. Respawns are fairly short, so you're not going to find much more here for Motivate Trust, but they win a fight against Aegis Cheese. That's really big for the side of Motivate Trust. They get to control that bot jungle a bit more, get their farm up and running. They already have a Scotty up on Jackie. They're just waiting for the Sanj on Fearless. Masteros now is pretty much unkillable with the itemization that came out from SMG, like the damage output from Nea and from Mid One. Amazing yet. They really need Empower on top of them in these fights to kind of get that damage flowing. Every single time KP dies without getting Empower on his cores, it feels lacking from SMG. So maybe a bit more caution due here from KP to just ensure he's around to get that damage up on SMG Sandas. Without that Empower, they didn't itemize for damage at all. So they really need the Magnus around to buff them up. And Masteros?
You're in, nice skill there from KB. Masteros immediately targeted, but the opponent shield does fly in to try and help out. He's still alive, still tanking. Mid One still trying to get him down, but now the Ethereal's out. Jackie gonna keep him even more protected. They'll go on to Q instead. They want the Lion dead first. Q, he will eventually drop. Leona now is getting quite low himself as SMG still moving in, but here comes Fearless from the backside onto KB, but it's not gonna be enough damage. There's way too much heals flying out, and Fearless, he has been bashed, and he will go down.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Great team fight from SMG. They just got everything they could have asked for.
Dire's middle tower
There's no buybacks for Motivate. So they're going high ground now. SMG should be 1 racks down.
Yeah, they've still got RP here as well on KP. They popped the BKB on Fearless. It's down. And RP.
Oh, they got the big one. Jackie has no robotic shield to protect him. They just burst it down.
Dire's middle tower has
Great setup there by KB on the mag. And well, Jackie has buyback, but he does not want to commit it like this. There's no teammates alive.
Dire's middle barracks is
And even when they are alive, John, I don't know if he really wants to commit it. he might just let two Raxes go down and
Dire's top tower.
try to go from there instead.
Yeah, I mean,
Dire's top barracks
it's...
Oh, KB.
Oh.
He's caught another Leona X being dragged in
has fallen.
to the grasp of the SMG. Maceron's trying to back off. Leona, he will not have that privilege. In fact, mid one, trying to take the life of Maceron's. Q can't hold back because Nia is right in the back side, and they've got another.
Is under attack.
Wow, SMG, just look at the coordination now, John. You see mid one going after Maceros, meanwhile Nia, he checks for Q, he makes sure the line can't break the gap and get the Hex off.
Has fallen.
And now they're onto T4 towers. I think Motivate, they're gonna buy back and try to defend, but it's looking very rough for them. As mid one still has the Aegis. They have so much sustain. Mid one, he's gonna zip in onto Arthur the backside, but mid one is gonna come in with the spin now, and the bash comes out fearless. He will be forced to zip away, but Q, he does not have zip available. Not on the Lion, as Jackie, he will die and he will get the kill on Arthur. So he gets the Rubik. In SMG, they're going to back off. Fearless now zipping in right through three of them, but the bash is there into the Abyssal Blade. They have got the Storm. Jackie, he is still trying. Mid one, playing around here, but he's getting really stunned up for quite a while. Leona now dropping quite low, but KP is going to be targeted. Jackie, he'll find another. Back on the mid one. The mad fight is upon us. The Jug burns the ball. Mid one, which way do you go? Leona, he goes down. Another kill for the Jug. Onto Jackie again. Jackie is still trying to manage. There's your figure out. Q, he'll get the job done. He'll interrupt. Now onto Arfu. They've got the Rubik down. He will glimmer cape, but it's not going to be good enough.
Attack.
Or is it? A little sneaky dupe there. Does get himself out. And now KB's back. They have the RP up. Earthspike is out. Now Nia shows up with the Sleight of Fist and Chains. Arfu, quite low, gets the lift onto Maceros, and the Arcana, the Psychic Headband, excuse me, does get him out into the Earthspike. That'll be it. So 2 Raxes down, no T4 towers, but MTG are still going.
That they are. SMG just sort of forcing the issue there, not respecting the buybacks. Motivate Trust managing to find some angles. Their backs are against the wall now, though. Like, the moment they lose a fight, the high ground's going to be siege, and SMG is going to look to close the game out. They need to finish up this last item on Jackie. Looks like he's finishing up the Satanic here. And just go all in. Hope that your Morphling can overcome the Scotty. Hope that he can just stand and fight. The lucky bashes coming through from mid one has been changing the dynamic. Like, you can't just zip in for Fearless anymore. Once a Blade Fury's up with the Ag Shard, you're going to melt to that free right-click attack damage, and you will just eventually get bashed at some point.
Uh-oh. Nia has been caught. The Ethereal, though, they'll get him. Fearless now, TP's into the outpost, onto Arfu, they'll find another. Glimmer Cape, not gonna save. Jackie has the damage. And Dota Plus was saying that there was over a 90% chance that SMG would win. But you'd never really count Motivate Trust out. They've done this many times before. In fact, there's 2 heroes down with that buyback right now, John. So you never know what they could do.
Oh, yeah. They're going to try to force it. They have to respect the RP coming through. There is an RP and Omni ready to go from KP on mid one.
Gonna go in with a spin. Jackie will spin himself. Bit of a Beyblade action here between these two. Mid one will move in again onto Leona. No, the Hex off. They've got the Jug. Mid one. He's gone. KP could not save him. He'll buy back, but KP is gonna drop without buyback. Oh no, what have they done? In they go, Jackie, he smells blood on the water, he's under the tier 4 towers, and how do you stop this? It's 2 versus 5. They've got 15 seconds for Arthur and Nia, but they've got to find the timeout, and even without KP, I'm not sure if they can fight this. Maceros, he's going to front line, now the Hex Sound Fearless gets the Orchid. Back to the tier 4 towers, boys. Ancient should be exposed very soon, but here come the respawns. Jackie, he's been bashed up. Mid one, gonna move in. Leonex trying to save him. The Ancient's still on the siege, but mid one is trying to fight. Jackie fighting back. There's no damage flying out. Now Jackie's out of mana. This is looking really bad, but the Ancient is still falling. Motivate Trust. They keep focusing it down. They've got it. The comeback might be wrong. They get it. They get it done again. You can't count these guys out. They've done it too many times now, John. We can't count them anymore.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
I had some shakes at the end there. Motivated Trust bouncing back in, holding off the Ancient fight, going into the high ground, somehow managing to kill off mid one and KP. That was the big one. Like, mid one walking in was a bit optimistic, but he was waiting for the backup from KP. Never came out. Fearless found the right target to silence up and Vortex up as they were all focusing on the Jug, and that just cut off the combo from SMG. So it fell a bit flat. SMG maybe overstaying their welcome and trying to go for that jugular there, straight for the Ancient after their high ground fight. And they just gave the opportunity for Motivated Trust to bounce back. So very close game. I don't think anyone could have predicted it to end that way. We do have the draft rolling in here for game number 2, though. SMG do get the Beastmaster. So they've got that tool on hand. Motivated Trust do start out with the Death Prophet. Surprising that both teams kind of just leaving that Beastmaster in here as well. Like the fact that it's not banned and Motivated Trust just don't pick it up. I guess it's because Fearless, we haven't seen him play that here at all. So it kind of makes sense, but we give this strong tool for SMG to play with. SMG, though, go with the line to follow up, so they've got really good control on their side. Very good stunts for stuff like any of the Spirit Brothers. I think when you see that Beastmaster core, especially if it's going to be mid here for Nea, you might want to consider a Rubik pickup here for Motivate Trust, just to be able to steal the access, have some flex for, say, a Fearless Rubik mid, and just kind of go that way. That's probably the best response to the Beastmaster you could ask for.
Dire team back.
Clockwork!
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team back.
It was way too risky. Way too risky. They couldn't find the angle for their follow-up stuns. They were forcing the issue out way too long. They didn't respect the buybacks flying through from Motivated Trust. Heck, they didn't respect the Lion. Q really managed to get a lot of good work once he got the Hex combo off onto the Juggernaut. Like, they do have good heals with the Undying around, but it wasn't enough. Like, they had no dispels on their side. They had no way of saving the Jug outside of a Glimmer Cape, and it was just not enough. Like, the burst damage was there for Motivated Trust. It was also a bit of a damage issue for SMG. The itemization for mid one, right? He went for Manta, Diffusal, Basher, Abyssal. There was no damage on him. Like, he had to rely completely on Empower. We saw that actually come out towards the end when they tried to focus his Masaros. With a Diffusal, you drain his mana, but you wouldn't kill him. So any other time, like, you drain his mana and you still focus on that Bristleback, it's time wasted. It's not efficient in the fight, and it sort of just fell flat for SMG in terms of damage output towards the end because of that itemization. They're really relying on KP to stay alive, to keep Nea and keep mid one topped up. And That's the hard part, because Motivate Trust knew that was going to happen. They kept focusing down KP as much as possible, preventing him from getting good RPs and from preventing him from living true to get that Empower off every single time.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Monkey King.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it definitely will be. I think there's a huge improvement across all the teams going into Season 2 here. Like, South Belt, of course, they were formerly Vice. They dropped down from the upper div, but here in the lower div, it looks like they've regained their footing. They're looking a lot better. They did drop one series down, but overall still in the lead because of games played. We'll have to see how as it builds on. The draft does continue. SMG do take the Monkey King. So they take the Monkey King against Jackie. And it looks like that should be our mid one here, possibly Nea's hero, but I think Nea's just going to have to, has the preference for highly mobile Spirit Brothers. Of course, Monkey King can be sort of mobile as well with a tree jump and, the talent spikes where that just drops down to crazy. So you've got some mobility on hand, probably still looking for the new hero. MG Trust do go with the Oracle, which they love to play around. They know the timings of the Oracle, they know what to hit with it, and it does look like SMG do go for the KP Brewmaster. So we haven't seen that, or at least not as often as before. It's still one of his specials. I think every single time they do manage to sneak that away back in TNC, it always looked great. So KP's on a very strong cover from here. We do have our looks like we have our 3 cores on hand with Nea Beastmaster hammered in. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's the perfect timings too. It's like 3 o'clock for that next matchup on schedule. So that's like the perfect time for Merienda, Mike. That's a Merienda showdown, a Merienda Rambulan. There it is. Yeah.
Dire team back.
Storm Spirit.
Oh.
Radiant team ban.
I don't. We got Beastmaster, right? Like that usually is the mid. I don't know if there's flexibility for Brewmaster support, but with a line, it feels pretty greedy. So I think they've just kind of hammered in their tri-core and Trust. I mean, they have to deal with a Beastmaster, sure, but they've got the Oracle. So you've got False Promise, and you've got the Fate's Edict around. You've got some protection towards some magic damage there as well. It can line up. There is some counterplay coming through there from Motivate Trust. Whether or not it's enough to stop the insanity of Beastmaster is another question. But there are some, some back and forth here for both sides. We'll have to see what MG Trust will opt for the Oracle combo now. Troll's still an option here if you want to go for that. Perhaps something else down the line as well. Maybe an Ursa would be
10
nice with the
seconds
Oracle, not the
remaining.
most meta hero. I think the Troll just lines up really nicely. Laning against
5
Brewmaster could
seconds
still be
remaining.
annoying, but you've got the Oracle combo. You might as well go for something like a Troll here. Yeah. Oh no. Oh. You know, the crazy thing is that's exactly what could happen as well. Like UTNC, they love their morph combos, as you mentioned, but Neon, they're not afraid of running core Ruvik. They're not afraid to give that to Yapaj, so you know, that could be something to look forward to if
Dire
Beastmaster
team
isn't
pick.
banned. I think this is just the outlier series where both teams select a true. For the most part, it is a priority ban, so we'll have to see when that series comes around.
Radiant team
That would be
pick.
spicy though. All the access in the world, all of it.
Riki.
Choose your
Ooh.
hero.
Oh. Oh. Oh, Afu Brew. Okay. Hmm. It really is. It feels greedy for
10
SMG though.
seconds remaining.
Like you're running a Brewmaster 4, so that's a line 5. Blink timing for line's gonna be
5
slow.
seconds remaining.
Levels for your Brewmaster and line are going to be slow. You have to build farm up on your Monkey King and your Riki. You don't have something like Empower to get their damage up. There's quite a fair bit that SMG will have to wait for. They're gonna have to really try to apply that early pressure with the Brewmaster Beastmaster lane. So the two masters together, the master lane coming out there. And MG Trust, it's very straightforward. They've got the off-lane DP with the push timings and the sustain. They've got the Ursa with the Oracle combo, as mentioned, potentially coming through either that or the Troll. Ursa's still really good with this kind of combination. You can keep him alive for a long time. He has really good shards as well. And Fearless on the Storm. Against a Riki, I mean, Riki has a lot of ways to kind of still find his last hits. But Storm Spirit should still be able to get that early advantage up, clear out the wave a bit easier, whereas for Riki, it takes a little bit more effort to really be efficient in wave clear. So you're getting a little bit more there on MG Trust for the matchup. That's very different. I'm going to answer your question right now, and what I think is better, I'm going to say Motivate Trust. I think the shakeup from SMG is massively risky. If you don't get farm and EXP on that Pause 4 Brewmaster, and you don't get the levels up, and really we have to see what KP's buildup is on the offlane Beastmaster, because offlane Beast, you still want Ags, but at the same time you have Playmaker, so the blink has to come through first. And if you don't go for early Ags, like, you miss out on a lot of early farm that can come in. So we'll have to see what KP opts for as well.
What about, though, if KP goes for the Helm of the Dominator instead and plays Beastmaster the same way? Because I'm not sure if they have room to be that greedy with the Aghanim Scepter this game. That's my issue, right? Because you look at the draft of SMG, and it's your classic SCA kind of pub draft, right? Where there's 4 cores and there's a 5th guy who's going to play position 6. But really, he might just, he might just go get an Aghanim Scepter line as well, just for the lols. And I don't know if you have space for the Aghanim Scepter Beastmaster this game. I think KP might need to be a bit more selfless, which he does tend to play like in the off lane. So I don't know if he actually will get the Axe.
Yeah, but it brings back a point that I remember the panel from Upper Div saying when you were casting with him. I think it was Lacoste or Lizard saying this, but if you pick these strong heroes in a patch and you don't play to their new strengths, it feels like you miss out. Like, nothing about Beastmaster improves in terms of push. In fact, it's worse without Necronomicon. So you can play that selfless Beastmaster focusing on objectives, but you will not have the same spikes as he once has, and you're not going to have the same spikes that he does have now because of that shift. So we'll have to see. It is too greedy. I agree with you. That's why SMG's draft is going to be really hard to pull off here.
See, Earth Spike is out. Downey's still going to go the way of MTG on the top side as KB now is going to cop a fair bit of harassment out from Q, and thought this yesterday in another tournament. Q just really likes to get as much of the battery assault out at level 1 as possible. Let's get quite a nice bit of damage out onto KB. And so the mid lane, this is the one I want to start with, John. Nia 666 against Fearless, the Riki versus Storm. Does this in any way favor the Riki?
Not really. I think it's not like an Invoker you're harassing out. You can still play with your Blink Strike and try to farm, but Fearless can gap close, get the Remnant off, control the lane, and apply some good harassment onto Nate. It gets worse once you hit level 3 on Fearless, so Nate's just going to have to watch his spacing, really work that Blink Strike, get his last hits going. You're already off to a fairly good start for Fearless, but there's some potential for the Riki. Like, if you get a good line rotation to stun out, and the silence could be potent if you level that up early.
That it could. I mean, for now, at least they're just going to farm up and try to take it easy. Like I say, that Nia now going to get quite a bit of harassment off, but Fearless will be just fine. Of course, top lane, you've got Jackie and Leona X up against KB and Mushi. Mushi decided to go to the off lane this time around with KB. I'll throw the Brewmaster down at the bottom. Leona, he's actually taking quite a bit of damage out from Mushi. Going to be able to salve up and be just fine. So KB, even with these balls that aren't quite as strong as they used to be, he is still applying a lot of pressure onto Jackie and just being a nuisance overall for now.
Yeah, it's a slower lane for Motivate Trust to play with. Like, Ursa needs some levels, so does the Oracle, in order to get that harassment out. The Oracle as well going for level 1 fortunes and means he can't quite burst down the boars. So you're always going to have this great laning presence out from KP. He's 9-1, Jackie's still 6-0, and as long as you manage to play with your boars and your axes here, you're going to feel really nice for KP. You're always going to find that farm, and Mushi's just doing a fantastic job of cutting off Leona from finding the support for Jackie. So it's a slower start for MTG up top. We'll have to see how that gets relieved. Of course, that does mean Mushi can maybe get a rotation out to mid down line. Still the last lane down bot. Masaros is on that DP, and mid one is dropping low. Not low enough, but the DP is holding out pretty nicely here as well. Except mid one is still finding some really good farm. Afu on the pause 4, Brewmaster down bot is still getting some good zoning. This is bad for the Clockwork. Like, he wants to abuse the battery assault, as you mentioned, but Brewmaster's super tanky, and he can turn around with the Thunderclap, and once he has Drunken Brawler, it could be really nasty as well. So Q doesn't have the safest targets to actually jump in and harass. Like, you can't really commit towards a Monkey King because of Jingu, so Q's just in a very awkward spot where his laning presence doesn't feel amazing.
No, I mean, that's why Arthur's holding that skill point as well, right? Like, you want to see if you need the Drunken Brawler, because Q is going to take more damage if he does going for the Battery Assault cogs. We might see it now, but he's just trying to avoid the small camp being pulled away by Arthur. He's still going to try, but he might be a bit too early, and yeah, Q's just going to be annoying overall, trying to really make sure he can't get the pull off. And that is another thing, though, that MTG have their way, that if the lane is pushed out the way of the Dire, Masaros is going to be able to harass mid one quite nicely with the soul, with the Spirit Siphons, and well, mid one can't really do much about it if he does get them off.
Yeah, but mid one can focus on farming really well. Like, there's not much harassment coming through. He is abusing that pseudo melee attack, and he's still up there in last hits 21-9, having a way better time than Jackie is, and Masaros is having an even worse time as well. So the progression here for MTG is just not great.
Top lane is where the first blood happens. Leona X able to kill off Mushi, but the axes are going to fly through from KP, and they do secure the kill. Can go back on that point as well, John. KB has opted to, at least for now, go for the level 2 Core of the Wild. They're not opting to max the axes yet. Might just go all the way with it.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to play the off lane. Like, you still need to be the playmaker. You're going to need a blink for the blink roar. Maybe the Dominator, as you mentioned, could be pretty nice here as well. I think Vlad's might actually be better for KP to get that early momentum going with a Monkey King and Riki. We'll have to see. It's a really good start for the Beastmaster still. You did find that kill on MTG, but Jackie is just not farming the same way. And a slowly farmed Ursa means a slow Battle Fury, and slow Battle Fury means really slow progression in the jungle there for Jackie.
Oh, he might be punished now as well. Mushi going to come in for an Earth Spike. He went for the Earth Shock to try and kill off the ball,
Radiant's
but it's going to be a
middle
lot
tower
of
is under
damage
attack.
output from KP and Mushi. Leona X not quite at that level 4 mark yet either, so he doesn't have the Fate's Edict to really be able to heal him up on this Ursa. Does give him a Tango instead. It's like KP, he's going to interrupt that small camp pull and just take the creep wave for himself, while Mushi does go for a large camp pull. However, bot lane, Masaros, oh, Q. Nice little tree trap there with the Tango. Mid one. Got stunned for a bit, and that meant he could not chase down Masaros or Q. In the end, Arfu does end up going down to the Brewmaster.
Just really good positioning there from MTG. Not a kill you'd expect. Like, Brewmaster is super tanky and, you know, really hard to zone out. But if you do find the angle, can work out. You did manage to go into the Cinder Brew here for Afu. So he doesn't have the Drunken Brawler to play with. And Q now with a level up can feel comfy with level 2 PA.
Mushi does drop KP. He will at least trade supports. Back to force the TP away from Jackie. Jackie's going to go all the way back to the fountain, then run his way back into the lane. So, a waste of time here for Jackie.
No.
It might be one of those games for Motivate where you kind of rely much more on Fearless to try and set the tempo rather than the Ursa. We'll see how that works out as Mushi now's rotated into the mid lane with the Earth Spike out. They've caught Fearless. He is level 7 though, and Mushi does not have level 4. Does not have the Hex up. Fearless will be able to get himself out.
Money.
That's a bit optimistic to try to lock in a storm like that. Like, the TP in for Mushi as well. It's not like there's a bottle to refill, so they get some harassment out, forces Fearless back just a bit, but he does have his bottle up. He's going to be able to stack up now, build up that triangle stack, and try to just get a smooth ride going. It's been really good for Fearless, 47-5, and they are not too far behind though, at 41-7. So the Ricky's still having a pretty good ramp up, very even across most of the lanes, very even kills, 2-3, less than 1k lead going out for SMG. Big one to watch out for is KP, he roars.
He does roar in. Leona, he's going to try and run, but there's no chance in hell. He's at that level 4, but KP just way too good on heroes like this, the Beastmaster, and immediately just tries to abuse the roar. Meanwhile, bot lane, Arfu does drop to Masaros, mid one, still trying to fight, does go back onto Q and Nia. He's going to rotate to secure the kill. In fact, he goes onto Masaros now, and that is a lot of damage with that Orb of Corrosion. He is really getting through the HP pool of Masaros, but it's not going to be fast enough. Still a blitz strike back in, and now he gets it. And that is a really nice rotation out from Nia, 666. A double kill straight off the bat. And again, I was wondering how much this mid Ricky was going to be able to get done, but well, for now, Nia's doing a great job.
Yep, he's finding farm, he's rotating out. In some ways, core Ricky is very similar to Ember, right? Like the timing into your boots upgrade and corrosion is massive. So Nia can actually get some good damage out. He just needs some additional control. Still, MTG, they're smoked up. Fearless is level 8 here.
Jackie opts the enrage, but they have backup. Mushi, no, it's going to be KP they want. With the Fortune's End to lock him down, it's not going to be too hard as they give the kill over to Jackie. That's an important kill to get, as you were already talking about it, but the Ursa was struggling quite a bit in terms of farm.
Is under attack.
A bit of breathing room to try and catch up, but now Nia has also made a bit of a rotation up towards the top side of the map. But it looks like he's not going to feel too confident moving in on anyone. He's going to go back to the mid lane and perhaps just keep farming up. Fearless going to get jumped here, but gets the Vortex off. Q is going to show up, but there's no dust. They can't lock him down, and now KP is going to get the roar off. Leona is around with the disarm on the Ricky to make sure Fearless can turn back around onto KP, but the blink strike back in. Fearless, he is so darn low. They get him with the trade. No! Oh. Nia is not going to be able to finish the job. He thought about another blink strike in. He'll go on to Q, but Leona again with the disarm is being a real nuisance already. And now Q goes in for a battery assault and the Cox pushback, but Nia is going to punish him.
You didn't see
They don't have the Fortune's End yet. Leona, he can't purge off the hills, and Nia's going to get another double kill. They got too greedy. You've got to wait till the Fortune's End is up. Otherwise, you're just healing the Ricky.
Yeah, that was optimistic to the turnaround. I think they would have already felt happy by having Fearless back off. They get a bit too fearless themselves, and it's a really good bounce back for Nia. He still finds a couple of kills. The Ricky builds up, number one in net worth off of that. He is still having a really good time. I believe he's flying out one blade of alacrity now, so the Ricky's going to hit a lot harder. You do want some EXP to start flowing here for your supports on SMG, especially this Brewmaster. Afu's basically a pause 5 brew. Mushi already has his 6 and Finger ready to go. So you have Finger Roar ready, but you need to split up on Afu to really follow up on the control and Fearless, isolate him out in these fights. And the side of MTG now, well, they've got level 6 on Monstros. They can start clumping around bot and use that Exorcism for a push.
Nia's going to come in, try and stop this from happening. Leona. You target first, of course. No, they want Masaros on the DP, and they burst him down. Boy, that was quick. Masaros just completely disappearing. This Fearless now is going to rotate on the Storm. I don't really see much of an angle here for Fearless. I suppose he does have the Arcane Rune in the bottle, so maybe he just feels confident to go for a fight right here, right now. Masaros, he has respawned, but hasn't decided where he's going to TP yet, it seems, and does eventually decide at the bot lane. The top lane was being forced in by KP, and I suppose he thought he can't defend it anyway. It was way too late. They may as well just try to trade the bottom tier 1 instead.
Yep, there goes that Exorcism. There is still a defense here though. SMG are TPing in.
That they are. They want to fight. Nia, Fearless gonna move in onto the Brewmaster Afu. He cannot get the split off in time. They'll get him onto another. The Lion Mushi in trouble, but a nice double stun. Not gonna be enough with the Wukong's command. Still Fearless is gonna sit down. The buybacks are there though. They really want this fight. Q is gonna TP out. KP, he does not have the roar up. Instead onto Masaros they go, but Masaros, he wants mid one. He's happy to give his life away for this. He will die, but for the greater good. As SMG will lose out very heavily in that team fight. I'd say the buybacks, it was only Afu, but it's not going to feel very worthwhile at all.
No, I mean, you're already stalled out here on the Brewmaster. He does have the earn up. He needs a lot more to really have massive impact on that hero. So some of that factor of greed starts to come into question here for SMG. Losing out on mid one as well means that the Battle Fury timing stalls out even more. And you already have the Battle Fury on Jackie. So the Ursa is going to be flash farming a little bit better. You need to start taking control of the jungle here from the side of SMG. But look at the words of MG Trust. They're just keeping the top lane safe and trying to give jungle space out for Jackie.
Strike in, Nia, gonna force the enrage.
Radiant's bottom
all he
tower
wanted.
is under attack.
Force the Ursa away from that farming position. State of this game right now, still a slight net worth lead for Team SMG. But Jackie, you look at his farm on that Ursa and he's caught up quite nicely. Already top of the net worth board, and you look back over to Fearless on that Storm, he's got the Orchid up now. Things are looking rather spicy for MTG and SMG. They've got to be very careful now. MTG are going to start looking towards that mid-tier 1 tower. Never mind that, they found a target, KP. He's been caught out of the Beastmaster. That'll be the awkward reveal out from Fearless on a very nice pickoff. Masaros has got Exorcism in 15 seconds, so they could definitely go onto the mid-tier 1 very soon if they wish.
And they've got that pressure on hand. The side of SMG right now, again, they're sitting back, they're trying to farm up. They still need mid one to get his Battle Fury. They still need the full alacrity to fly out in there, which it is. So the Ricky's damage output now gets a bit ridiculous. He just needs to focus the Oracle first. If you get Leona out, you don't have to worry about disarms and the false promise. That's going to be the big one. Leona needs to watch his positioning there, but they are sort of clumping up here on the side of MTG. No smokes yet. Not quite popping that, but they are still working that map well. 10 to 10, less than 1k lead on MG Trust. Jackie pulling ahead because of that early B Fury, but SMG smoked earlier.
They do, but they might just run into Leona here. They'll take the target. Nia is the only one to show, so they don't know they're smoked up yet. Motivate Trust, they are being rather careful. Masaros, he got scanned out, but he'll TP. Instead, SMG now showing in the mid lane for a bit. The mid one trying to bait for his team. It's a very juicy kind of bait, but his team is right behind him waiting. Motivate Trust, they seem to know about this. They're not gonna engage. They're gonna let it go down, but Nia, he found another target with the hawk out from KB. They'll have the vision, but the false promise is gonna save the life of the Clockwork. They got what they came for. They got that mid-tier 1 tower, and SMG should be happy enough to just back.
Yeah, and they can go straight for the Roche pit. They've got a lot of control, a lot of damage flying through on the Roche. The side of Motivate Trust, though, Fearless.
Fearless is a beard. He found the lion, but he's gonna get roared up. Fearless did not realize the Roche arm was going on. Oh boy, that is not good news. And now Q's being caught out. MTG, a bit of panic here. SMG, they will take full advantage. Found themselves another 2 kills before they go back into the Roche arm pit.
That was just really unfortunate. I thought Fearless was trying to preemptively jump Roche, but the rest of his team was too far behind to follow up that kind of move. And now, they don't have anything to fight in that pit. It's going to be a nice and easy Roshan for SMG. The respawns are fairly short, but way too long. Maybe you can make a cheeky play with Q TPing onto the outpost, but it doesn't feel worthwhile. And with the Aegis up, you're going to have protection for either Nea or mid 1. It should be Nea picking, so the Ricky's protected. He's going to be able to get that damage off. He's always going to have an opportunity to find the angle onto the Oracle. And Motivate Trust, well, they're not lagging too far behind. They're still number 1 with Jackie and the hook.
Oh, they found a big one, mid 1. That was a very confident farming position for mid 1. Mushi, he's going to get punished too. I'm not sure what the idea was there. Generally, it's the corner of the lane where you've got to be very careful, right? Like, that's about the boundary. If you get anywhere near that top tier 2 tower, you're inviting them to come in like that.
Yeah, I mean, they don't hold the outpost here in SMG. They don't have wards in the jungle. I don't know why you'd be that far forward. Like, they weren't even carrying the Aegis. I could understand if Nea was just wanting to farm aggressively with the Aegis, but it was mid 1. Just a bit of an awkward movement out, and really good punishment from Motivate Trust, though. They see the opening, they make it work, so they keep mid 1 down. The gap between mid 1 and Jackie grows to 1k. The blink's up on Jackie. He just needs a little bit more farm to come in. Nea is hunting them down, though.
And he is, Jackie. And be able to back off.
She has a blink.
And Nia has a diffusal blade. Jackie shows himself again. He'd be up in 2 seconds, but he knows he's going to get out soon. Put himself out. Now going to spot him. Jackie's being greedy. He's going to be punished for this one. Finger out, he'll go down. Meanwhile, top side, it looks like because mid 1 was showing. That's why he showed up at the bot lane, but mid 1, he might be dead again. The Crypt Swarm connects and they have the damage. So both carries getting very greedy there on the side lanes, and they both get punished for it.
Is under attack.
Yeah, it's awkward for both sides. Really even trade in the end because of that. Slightly better for Motivate Trust, as you know, Fearless just grabs even more to build into on the Storm. Once you have the BKB up in the Storm, you're going to be very scary. There's no stuns to control you. You're going to have to commit Roar on KP, which means that there's more room there for Leona, more room for Jackie to just survive and try to get some control back in their way still.
Work out. Looks like they have got the Storm, but again, the false promise from Leona is going to save the day, and now they'll move in onto the line. They want to try and turn this team fight around. Mushi with the Glimmer Cape is not going to be able to survive. Jackie will get the kill on the Ursa. He wants a bit more. Knife starts down. He ran right into Nia 666, but mid 1 is going to turn around now with the Boundless Strike. Fearless in trouble. Gets the Orchid off onto the Ricky, but he is still chasing Nia. Wants the kill, but still Jackie going to jump in after KB now. They'll get the Beastmaster. There goes the Aegis, and now the Exorcism has been popped mid 1. He needs to run the best he can. Arthur is going to try and help, but it's not going to be enough. They've got the Monkey King again. Meanwhile, on the side, Nia has been silenced, but Fearless, he has no mana. He has to be very careful because Nia could turn right back around, but no, he's buying time. He's buying time for Jackie to make his way over and help him out with the kill. In fact, they found more now. Arthur, he's going to try and run. He's gone. And Fearless kind of tells you the story of that team fight. It was all off the back of Leona Getting the false promise out on the Storm and just keeping him alive throughout the whole team fight.
Oh, man.
That was a
Like,
very nice kind of Oracle play there from Leona.
yeah, really smooth. Not just the false promises, but his Ghost Scepter as well. Saving him from the Ricky jump back in, gave him the control needed to follow up on a very low mana Storm. So you've got some issues from SMG. You need a nullifier at some point here. You still see Nea queuing up that sleeping dart on the Ag Shard. Now that could be one way to take out the Oracle from the fight. You just need to still find that angle. Still always target the Oracle first. Like, they just couldn't find the angle there. Leona positioning is looking a lot better as this game goes on. And Jackie is starting to be a massive issue. As soon as he blinks in, even without the BKB, he just has so much more damage than a Ricky and a Monkey right now. Like, you need the Ags up on mid 1. He's saving up for it. 2 parts away, in fact, 1 part away with his gold. There is a smoke out here from Motivate Trust, though, and Fearless is in position for that zip.
He is, and look at this, a smoke up. Leona, Jackie gonna run right into the triangle. Mid one, he's gonna be very careful. They know exactly where he's going. Jackie, your big strike in, and there is your zip in. Raw has been committed, but you have the false promise there to purge it off, and Jackie will find mid one again. He just read him like a book there, John. Just exactly where he was is where they went.
Under attack. Dire's structures
SMG, can they punish anyone on Motivate Trust? They're gonna try. Masaros, he's smoked up with Q and Leona. Leona's still around, but no false promises up. Still Nea seemingly needs to back off as Mushi now is the one caught out, and he will die in the Lion. And this could be very bad news. SMG, we talked about their draft. We talked about the fact that it was a little bit greedier and definitely harder to execute than, say, what Motivate Trust has. And I don't think the draft is necessarily made to be played from behind.
No, 100% no. You want to be ahead. The Ricky needs to be ahead. The Monkey King needs to be ahead right now. They're at best even. Jackie's just pulling so far ahead though. Becomes a bit scary. Fearless, he has his BKB, so the smoke screen's not going to help. If you roar Fearless and not Leona, Leona is still going to get false promise in these fights. That's the big issue. They've got this BKB piercing stun on the roar, but they have the Oracle to purge it off. So KP is going to have a really hard time in isolating here. SMG don't smoke up. They know that false promise is down for a little bit longer. Roche is not quite up. They are going a bit blind. They don't have forward vision in top jungle, only in the triangle here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Lane, Jackie gonna show. This is bait. Jackie has his team on the right side. P1.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Gonna go down, it looks like. Jackie there to set up. SMG obviously well aware that the team is right there behind the Ursa and will not initiate. They'll wait for an opening.
Radiant's
That'll be it. MTG, they do not get punished. So it looks like they're ready to slowly start sieging the bottom tier 2 tower. The brighter side for SMG, mid one does have the Ags up now. Smoke. Oh, he was spotted. They saw it. The observer was there. They dip right in onto Harfu. They get the kill. He'll buy back. Here comes command. Raw is out. Q will be targeted. However, Mushi, he's in trouble. There's your finger around Q. Is gone. Jackie has the false promise. Masaros getting deleted in the Wukong's command. And now they turn around back onto the Oracle. Meanwhile, on the left side, Jackie has been controlled up. Mid one jumps in. And this should be a very nice team fight. MTG getting caught with their pants down. Will get punished. And SMG, considering how bad of a start it was to that team fight, it's kind of crazy how the only person to die was Afu.
Yeah, they overcommit on Motivate Trust side. Like, the moment they killed Afu, they were clumped up for a triple Earth Spike coming out from Mushi. And they kind of split the fight up. Like, Fearless and Jackie were elsewhere, Masaros and Q were elsewhere, and they just got isolated. They couldn't use their spells in conjunction. Very good cleanup from SMG. They're going to get a nice free tier 2. And Motivate Trust lose that lead. It's down to less than 1k now. So, really good swing back for SMG, and Motivate Trust kind of underestimating the counterfight potential from SMG. They need a 4-staff here. Like, they've got some Ghost Scepters up. You still need a 4-staff to either take the Monkey King outside his Wukongs or get yourself out from the smoke screen.
Nice hook shot. That'll be a die back on Arfu if he's left alone. And he will be. Very nice there from Q to set up, and Again, that'll be the Brewmaster gone for about 50 seconds now. Can Motivate do anything with this? Roshan is up.
Yeah, that should be the play. You can try to force it out. They don't have to worry about any Brewlings in the middle of the fight to be disruptive. Free Ag Shard. You can't allow SMG to get that. Like, when you see Nea, he had the shard. He already has his shard, so that Sleeping Dart is in play. He can isolate Leona if he finds that positioning. Roche will not turn Ursa. They've got to move fast about this.
See if the Sleeping Dart comes into play as they do throw it out.
There.
Fearless. He's going to get stunned up. How annoying is that going to be? It's a very short cooldown, by the way, John. Very short. Nice zip, though.
Boom! There it
Yeah,
goes.
this is so annoying.
There they go. Jackie, he caught KP. They've caught him. KP's gone. No, in fact, Nia, he's the one to go down first. Mushi, he will drop KP. He's going to run out of there with the Glimmer Cape, but mid one has been left behind on the Monkey King, and he's dead.
Oh, mid one was trying to use his Wukongs. The zip broke the tree. He was stuck.
No.
They couldn't get the follow-up, and now Roche is going to go MTG's way. Aegis, Cheese, and Shard. Shard for Jackie. The Battle of Balance, Mike. Earthshock and Rage now up. So pick your poison. What's stronger? Sleeping Dart or Enrage on Earthshock? I have a feeling it's Earthshock, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really stupid question, John. Of course it's the Earthshock one. 1.5 seconds worth of an enrage buff on yourself, and it reduces the cooldown of Earthshock by 1 second. Because why not? Because 8 seconds was too long, Ice Frog, was it?
Yeah, way too long. Now you just have to hope for tier 3 items, nice little quickening charm, you know, to make things nice and spicy. We'll see if they get lucky.
He'll get us. It'll happen, I
100%.
guarantee it.
SMG now. I mean, they showed off the Sleeping Dart. I think what needs to happen is Nea Sleeping Darts Leona, and you clean up everyone else, or you Sleeping Dart the Storm somehow. Very hard because it's projectile still. They're coming in.
Yeah, mid one, Leona exits. A nice target to start on. Meanwhile, Fearless has caught somebody else, however. Looks like in the mid lane, they do kill off Nea. A much bigger target, and now Jackie seeing that Nea going down. He does kill off KP. Q, he does die in the Wukong's command mid one. Does get something for their trouble, but it is not a good trade whatsoever. He lost 2 cores across the map for 2 supports. Motivate Trust, they should be able to get at least 1 tower out of this.
Yeah, if they want to. It looks like they're not fully committing for top. They want to keep working the map right now. And Jackie is blocking. Is he on the road?
Oh, they spotted him out. Primal Split's going to be committed. They'll be able to get him out of there now. Little space creation there from Arthur, but that is going to mean his Primal Split is going to be down for a while. But perhaps if you motivate, you think to yourself, maybe you can abuse that timing while the split is down. You've got almost 2 minutes to go for it. In fact, they found the DD route. Very nice.
Yeah, it's on demand there still.
Fearless. Using no boots at the moment. Jump in Nea. He's got Masaros, BKB, False Promise. It's going to be enough to save the day.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's like Jackie wants to just try and finish off the what looks like a Satanic before they get any more too involved, and it's mid one going for. He wants the basher up. He's not going for the immediate Daedalus rush that we've been seeing a lot of on these Monkey Kings.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, you do need some follow-up stunts to go through that BKB now. Some really good control on hand. They are still sort of clumped up. The Aegis is still running here for MTG. They've got about a full 2 minutes on it. So they still have a lot of opportunities to just take control of the map. Again, go for those towers. Jackie's starting to dig into that bot tier 2. SMG starting to focus on the top to try to force a trade or a response. There are still fortifies to play with. And both sides will just kind of try to go for objectives for now and stall out the big team fight. You don't really want to force it with SMG. Like Aegis on Fearless just gives him a ton to play with. So even trades as SMG still wait out on new items as well. The Manta is not yet up for Nea. He's stalled out since the Yasha after the defusal. It's not been a smooth ride for the Riki, lagging behind in farm now. So that greed, again, is a big factor here, and they're still going to have to find a way to get that gold flowing. KP saving up for the Ags. Halfway there. Just needs to get some farm up, and that's the story of the game for SMG. They just need to keep farming and hit these item spikes and bounce back in that way.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Motivate, they've
attack.
smoked up. Fearless looks like he's just trying to bait around for his team right now. SMG, they counter smoke. KP, not
Radiant's
smoked, but he
middle
might be the
tower is
bait.
under attack.
There's the pings flying out. Motivate, they want to go for this. Zip is in. KP, he has indeed been targeted. Now they can try and turn Wukong's command. Not out yet, but he does finally get it out mid one. They're going to run out of that circle, but they've got the Aegis on Fearless. A nice start. Still KP is being chased down by Masteros and might just drop through the ghost. In fact, Fearless is going to zip right in and make sure they get the kill. What they want, Nia, he's underneath the sentry ward right now. Fearless gets the vortex, Jackie gets the bash as they get the kill. Fu trying to TP, but no, Leona. He'll have something else to say about that. Fu, he will die. A double kill out for Jackie, and it's going to be a 3-0 trade. Motivate now with a 9k lead. In fact, now they got the Aegis, but it's not really a line.
Radiant's middle tower
No,
is
it
under
was about to expire anyway. Like, it would have expired by now, so really good Aegis use there from Motivate Trust. It looked good for a bit from SMG, but it just falls flat once more, and they're just not getting the max value from this Riki. Again, itemization has stalled out. Farm is not flowing for the 2 cores, whereas for Motivate Trust, you really are taking over with Jackie. Onto the high ground, no Wukongs for the defense, no Finger. Roar gonna be up soon, but Roar alone's not gonna be enough to stop that push.
Radiant's middle barracks.
John, let me ask you, what's better than a quickening charm on Ursa?
What's better?
Yes.
The spell person?
No, well that is the tier 4, but he's got the Titan Slither right now, John. So why not just amplify the status resist instead?
Radiant's
Until the
Yeah.
tier 4 items where you get a spell prism.
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
It's beautiful. They still get more ult. Ooh.
Nice BKB. No, Raw's going to come out. They want to fight, but MTG might turn. They are a bit low in terms of HP and mana, but they still have the chance to go, and they are Fearless. Right into the back lines on Mushi. The hook shot onto Arfu. Jackie, he caught KP on the Beastmaster, and it looks like KP's going to try and run. He might just make it out. Mid one, he'll get the Wukong's command defensively out. Back in onto the Oracle Leona with the Ghost Scepter. It's going to be fine, and now Jackie's right back in onto Arfu. Never mind that. Let's go on to Nia. He'll try to blitz struck the backlines, but no, the false promise. Leona X, the man just won't die. He keeps bringing them back in. Mid one, he'll try onto the Ursa with the bashes out, but they've lost KB. Now mid one needs to try and run away. Fearless, he is going to get brought down from the Yules. Is he going to be able to survive? Not quite. They'll get the storm. Now Nia back in on the Clockwork Q. Should drop here as mid one. He'll keep moving forward, trying to find more. Nia now will find Q finally, but the hook shot is there. The Spirit Vessel, Nia. Oh. Is he gonna die? No, 3 HP. 3 HP the Riki survives on.
Killing spree.
Back to mid one. He'll kill off Leona X. But Jackie's not done. He kills off Arfu. Mushi's around though. The enrage is there. How do you kill off an Ursa if you can't stun him permanently? Well, maybe they can mid one. He's gonna try. But the Lion Mushi about to die. There's no damage output. Jackie, the bashes mid one. The man fight. Jackie's gonna try. But no, the sleeping dance in. Nia will put it to sleep.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
What a great team fight that was. Very extended. It ends up being a 3-for-4 trade. They did get the melee barracks to the mid lane. But I'd say SMG should be okay with that, considering the golden XP change they got.
Okay, it's a big win for SMG. Motivate Trust kind of overstaying their welcome. I mean, it looked like they just came back for Masteros really after the war. You might have been better off just letting Masteros die, but it is what it is. Gives SMG some breathing room. They're going to be able to get some more farm up. The Manta's finally done on Nea, so he has a way of purging off some of that dust, some of the silences coming through. And that's going to put a dent in Motivate Trust's control here, as they're going to be able to at least get out of that root and silence. Have to be a bit cautious about that. There is the Abyssal now done here on mid one as well. So he's got his own way of stunning out. And I think for the
Smoke in the tree line, mid one. Primal springing through, does find Fearless, but oh, what a dodge on the boundless strike, and now the silence is there. Still, false promise out onto Q. Hook shot onto Nia. Q might just sacrifice himself to let his team get out, and it looks like that might just be the plan. Mid one is still trying to find another target, and it looks like he has found Leona and will eventually find the Oracle to take him out.
Dire's bottom tower
Nice
is
double
under
kill there
attack.
for SMG.
Dire's structures are fortified.
As long as Jackie's down, they know they can get it done. Game is slowly but surely evening back out, at least in terms of net worth.
Yeah, they're really finding the openings on SMG. MTG just sticking their heads out for a bit and gets chopped down. Have to really still remember that SMG's got a lot of good control. The supports by themselves do not have that damage output. Now you have to deal with the Beastmaster Ags. KP finally has it up. So this is where it can be ridiculous. If KP's allowed to live, his damage output's going to be a bit too much to handle. You don't have the best sustaining supports here from the side of Motivate Trust. And you have the Oracle, but you don't have anything like a Guardian Greaves up, a mech up, nothing to help you burst regen back up outside the Oracle spells. It can be a bit dicey. Leona X, again, has to work himself perfectly in these engagements. And the Roche is up, so SMG go right in. That has a free Ags blessing as well. Don't want to give this one away if you're MG Trust.
They do not. They're making their way over, but Arfu is around blocking the way. They can hook shot in to try and steal, but instead, just after Arfu, the Aeon Disc will save still. Midmon going to jump in with the Wukong's. Hook shot was not there in time from Q. They need to run right now. That Wukong's command is going to do way too much damage. They are going to lose Masaros. You've got Hookshot down, so you could try to rush the Roshan, but he does have an axe. So he can refresh and try to steal. And Q, he might give it a shot. Roshan is getting quite low. He does need to refresh, and it's too late. He's going to miss out. SMG, they got what they came for. They'll be able to relax now, knowing they have the Aegis. They have the Ags upgrade on Nia. Where's the cheese at, John? Mid one's got it.
Regeneration.
It's scary now. Nia with a free Ags. Doesn't even need to spend 4,200 although.
Cute, right in, but the ball blocked at KP. Gonna be silenced up, but a boundless strike to lock them both in. Now the heads up, Fearless. He's gonna drop a Jackie. He's in. He's gonna try and find onto mid one. Can he get through the HP pool of the Monkey King? It looks like he just may, as the Abyssal Blade was there, but mid one is still trying the false promise. Is gonna fly out Leona, trying to heal him up, but here comes Nia into the back lines. Leona trying to survive. They will get Leona down. Q will drop. Jackie will go through the false promise, and it is not looking good now. For Motivate Trust, it looks like SMG might be able to take this to the high ground.
I mean, Motivate Trust force a fight into Aegis Cheese. They don't respect the Ags on Ricky, and they just got ripped to shreds. I'm not sure why they really forced the issue there. As SMG just manages to clean up. They do have buyback on Jackie. They've bought buybacks on their supports as well. The gem is going to be picked up by Mushi's courier, so you're not even going to be able to snipe that away. And SMG, they can push real fast. KP just clears out these waves like it's butter. And the side of Motivate Trust, they're going to have to pull something amazing in the high ground. They don't necessarily have the best AoE control to stop it. Mid one still has the Wukongs to play with here.
And he does. Level 27 on that Monkey King. Mid one, very confident. Oh, Fearless, he's got the Vortex off, but it's not going to be enough damage output. There's your Daedalus out now on the Monkey King as well, so the damage has gone up substantially in that Wukong's command. And with the negative 7 the statues, you've got to be very careful. There's going to be one racks down. Onto the top lane they go. Yeah, he's up at 20. He does not want to commit the buyback yet. He wants to hold down. We saw this last game, don't forget, John. They did make a comeback from 2 racks down. The SMG understand how careful they have to be around this team. Whereas mid one, gonna get zipped on. Fearless. Oh, he got bashed up. The Abyssal Blade there through the BKB. The Aegis still not down, but they finally get it. Q is in danger. Bingo, the heal's out. Leona will save the day now. The Abyssal one from Jackie onto mid one. Mid one, he's dropping low. The bash is there. They take him out. He's got no buyback again. Nia now, he goes down. He'll have buyback on the Ricky though. Mushi, oh, zipped on perfectly, but they can't cancel the TP. Instead, towards the right side, they found Arfu on the Brewmaster. They might be able to get him instead. And here we go again, John. A very similar scenario to last game. On the brighter side, this time Arfu and Nia do have buybacks on.
Yeah, they're not going to be completely screwed out here. They're going to have themselves up and running for the defense. There is no double damage. Does get denied after KP. Very nice move there. And side of Motivate Trust now. They're going to have to, well, maximize this moment. No Monkey King is big. They are in a very risky spot still. You don't want to be caught out with no buyback on your side. Jackie is about 600 gold off. So Jackie has to be a bit careful, but they need to really clear out the rats and even out the map control.
That they do. They're going to try now. KB, he'll be around with the axes to really just be a real nuisance here on the Beastmaster, and quite nice to have the axe up to be able to defend this high ground if you're KP. Of course, he does have to be a little bit cautious because Fearless could zip in at any moment, and they do. They've got the Beastmaster. KP's gone. He has buyback. But with that death, Arfu, he fought back to try and save the Beastmaster. MTG, they'll need it back now. Mid one is up in 5 seconds. SMG, there was a lot of damage done on that tier 3, but they're happily going to hold.
And they've got some really good items flying through. You've got a BKB up on Nea, and that should mean that it's harder to pin down this Ricky. Full duration here as well. So if you were trying to rip through the back lines and try to focus down to squish your cores, the Ricky's going to be a lot harder to handle. SMG though, do sacrifice the buyback on Nea for that, but it looks like it's just time for SMG to go back to farming up, build up, try to save for some of that buyback. They do find a Spell Prism on Motivate Trust, by the way, so there it is. And it is on Masaros for now though.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Jackie's going to take the ninja gear instead. Fair enough. I mean, that's kind of nice, though, because you can sneak in from the backside and get rid of that Lion and fill in the Brewmaster. I did guarantee, though, that a Spell Prism would come out. Zap! Like my credit, thank you, Jackie.
Yeah.
Going to avoid the Sleeping Dart. Mid one. We'll be able to hold him down. It's very hard with the Aghanim Shard on Jackie to really lock him down long enough. He never really has to commit the full enrage. You can just Earth Shock and you just can't do anything.
Yeah, it's enough to stall out for Jackie to, you know, live through some of that initial damage and control. He is saving up now for that Swift Blink. So, you know, he's going to get some more agi to play with, more right-click damage, more attack speed. Really nice utility when you blink in as well. The Satanic's the big spike that I think Jackie absolutely needs. He needs a way to heal himself out outside of the Oracle, because he lives long enough that he can turn around, and he just needs some lifesteal. So, do smoke up on MTG. Gonna try to make something happen. Roche is still a long way off, but maybe if they get a pick off here, they can start to go back into the high ground.
Both teams are being very cautious. SMG, they'll just try to push out the top lane and force the rotation back, as mid one now is going to hide as a tree on top of a tree. Himself for the initiation. MTG still smoked up. Q going to have his smoke broken. Sees Arfu. He's going to go for the hook shot here. Nobody initiating yet. They're waiting for both teams to show themselves. So Arfu, he can primal split and Fearless. He's got the AoE Vortex now. Catching the backside onto Mushi, but the Ghost Scepter going to save the day as mid one. He popped the Wukong's command. It is going to wear off for Jackie. He does kill off Mushi. Onto mid one now. Mid one trying to fight with Nia. They might have the Ursa, but the Vortex is in again. Fearless just going to drag them right back into the false promise. Keeping the Ursa alive, but the Helllock has been one. He's got so much damage out. They are going to kill him before the Ursa goes down. Onto Nia now. Q. He'll lock him down with the double hook shot out. And Leona, Arfu, Mushi, he does not want to die like this. The Shivers Guard barely not going to reach Arfu. Pop the Drunken Brawler. Just try to run while Masaros will continue to chase down with the Yule Scepter out. And the Fortune's End. Mid one has buyback if he wants to commit it, and so does KB. Are they actually going to time T-Force? Yeah, they are. Hookshot it again. Now the buybacks come out, but they've already gotten the kill. Mid one's going to try and punish now with the double barrel strike and the raw to fly out onto Masaros. They may have gone way too far. Q, he has no hookshot to relieve himself of this scenario, and he's also going to die.
Double damage.
So they force the buybacks out of mid one and KB, but it does cost 2 lives to the room.
Like MTG still holding on to buybacks on those 2 heroes that died. They can just come back in, take the diebacks first, and then go back out. This is a really good spot. They're often limited. Roche is still 2 minutes away, so they can't even play for that objective. And you have to be careful.
KB!
Oh boy.
He just fought back. Oh no. He's got him.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That's 2 minutes without the Beastmaster now. MTG might have their opening. Roshan's not going to be up for another minute 40, so they're not going to be able to go back to that. What do you do here? Do you just farm up and maybe get the Swift Link up on Jackie?
You could. I mean, you have nothing else to play for. You have to wait for the respawn on your 2 heroes. Unless someone missteps. Like, say, if they spot mid one, chop the right tree. That has to be one way to do it.
Oh, Fearless, he's found him. He tries to get the tree chop. He doesn't quite get there. Does force BKB. Jackie, he's in with the bash out, and now the Abyssal Blade. They've got the Monkey King mid one. He's going to eat the cheese with the Fury Swipe. It's so much damage. They get him down onto Nia now. Nia's going to try and fight back with the Sleeping Tart, turning onto the Storm, but the false promise from Leona is going to save the day. Oh, mid one's down for 2 minutes to boot. There's going to be no big push out from MTG quite yet. They have creeps in their base. This is going to give them plenty of more time to just keep farming up. Jackie, he has a choice now. Satanic or Swift Link. Both of them are quite affordable for him very soon. It seems like he's dead set on the Swift Link, but yeah, I kind of agree with you on that, John.
Like lifesteal. You see how long Jackie lives. If he just has lifesteal, he is literally unkillable. Like, they throw everything out on him. Because of Enrage, it lasts so much shorter. And he just needs a couple of hits. He's back to full HP. So, I think Satanic is the smart play, but he is buying out the Swift Link. So, I think he wants to be more slot efficient. He's going to have to take something out if he wants that. And Fearless.
Against Fearless, I did not spot that one out. My apologies. Nia setting up a nice kill for the team. With Fearless gone, you can't really push in.
Risky. They could go for the Roche. Jackie's in. So that's Refresh and Ag's Blessing along with Cheese and Aegis. This is where it gets really dicey. SMG has to run up to contest this, but again, against an Ursa, Roche does not last long.
No, it does not. Aegis taken. Aghanim Scepter. Looks like he might just take it for himself. Fair enough.
Dire's courier has been killed.
I love the fact that everything to do with Ursa in regards to Aghanim is about Enrage. It's like how the cooldown's 18 seconds now and you can just pop it whenever you feel like it. Yeah. How nice is that?
Beautiful. It's lovely. You have that, you have the Earthshock, still doing ridiculous stuff with, and you got your BKB. It's wild for Jackie right now. Very hard to pin down. SMG, for their part right now, Mike, they've ridden through that moment where buybacks were down. They have 4 minutes to wait, though, for those buybacks to refresh on most of their heroes. Afu only has a minute to wait for his buyback, but you kind of have to work to that point for SMG. MG Trust with the Aegis Cheese, they feel a lot safer. They could make a big fight, and Fearless asking for, okay, crash. All right. I thought you meant they should just clash now. I was like, all right, that's like such a C-pub thing to say, just clashes 4. But yeah, no, it's a crash. All right.
Fearless isn't even alive right now, John. I'm not sure why he'd be asking for a clash.
Yeah, because he could micro Jackie. See, he could play the Ursa. That's what he wants.
True. Very true. Wants to know what it feels like to be all farmed up and fuzzy like a bear. Jackie. So, do you go for the Satanic now? I mean, obviously after the Aegis does expire, surely it's either Divine Rapier or just a straight Satanic here for the Ursa.
Yeah, I'd say no damage issues. Satanic should still be the play. Jackie keeps it queued up, and I do like that. Like, again, just some lifesteal on hand is going to make the difference. SMG, they're positioned aggressively. They could be caught out here.
Get on.
Gonna smoke up on the Brewmaster now. Little arcane rune being found out now by Nia.
Never see this coming.
The Spell Prism, 6.9 seconds on the cooldown for the Sleeping Dart. Very nice. Tricks
nice
the Trade is at a 4.6 second cooldown. Very good.
Very balanced with that Spell Prism here on Nia. He's the one wanting to play with that. We're not seeing that out from Jackie. Of course, he's playing smarter. The move speed on Ninja Gear, just very speedy, and he does manage to take away the boots. So, you know, he's slightly slower. He's going to have to always play with a Swiftling to get himself in the right spot, at least while the Aegis is up. But the side of SMG, again, they're just keeping all the wave shoved in. They've got a Beastmaster, they've got a Monkey King. They can jump around, keep the waves in, and prevent Motivate Trust from getting too far out from their base. They get the Ags up on Afu. That is massive. He's got the charges on Primal Split, so it's harder to kill off that Brewmaster if you don't get the control initially, and that does mean you might get controlled up if you're not careful there from all of the stuns and the yields of the Cyclones coming through from the Brewlings. Can be a bit dicey as SMG are getting a bit of a second power spike with this itemization now.
Certainly can be, John. Bottom tier 2 going to drop, and now even the nullifier out from Nia. Certainly going to help out the heroes of Motivate Trust. Sure, you've got that damn Oracle around. He's been having a very rough time with Leona X this game. Still, high ground is the objective for SMG. They do not have a Roshan to go to, so they might just wait it out and farm up a bit more. Plus, Motivate has a 7k net worth advantage. So it could be dangerous, but Jackie gonna run in. Smoke does end up breaking. He won't turn around fast enough. Arfu could initiate and does decide to, but the Enrage was there. Of course, with the Aghanim Scepter, there's no real risk in just throwing out the Enrage like that because the cooldown's so low. You're always gonna have it.
Yeah, there are no worries. When they do smoke up here, Motivate Trust did clear out the Hawks. They could find an angle.
Oh, mid one, he got one out. They got the tree, the Vortex is down. Mid one's dead without buyback again. The Rocket Flare giving the vision out from Q. Now KB's going to be chased. Masuros, he will cancel off the TP. That'll be KP gone. Mid lane, Q trying to fight up against Arfu. He will Primal Split, but he's stuck in the cogs with nowhere to go. Fearless even just leaves it. He just lets the supports take care of it. Arfu. Fortune's End gonna land on the Storm Panda. There's the real one, Jackie, a big scary bear chasing him down, and that is Arfu gone. Another Primal Split, just in the nick of time. And he even goes back for the bounty. He'll deny it off. Q gonna get stunned up, but that'll be it. Arfu barely gets his way out. Motivate Trust, though, they have 3 heroes down without buyback, John. And I can almost assure you that they're going high ground again.
Yeah, they refreshed on Masaros, Exorcism back up. They're going to line up for that shove. They're probably just going to rush tier 4s. Maybe the bots had racks, but I think they want to go for the juggler. So we'll see the punishments out. I mean, it's still 30 seconds until these big heroes are back. They're just so strong inside of MG Trust.
Yeah, I mean, look how many Ghost Masteros has out right now. That clip's gonna wear out, and Jackie's in. He's found Arfu, and Arfu is eventually gonna die. Fearless, he does get him. Jackie the one to pick up the kill. Don't tell me they get another comeback like this. 2 racks is down. Motivate Trust really want to win in fashion, it seems, as the hook shot is in on Samushi. They've got the Lion. Mid one's back up. He can jump in and fight, but the hook shot is there. Jackie gonna man fight the hook on's command. Mid one trying his best, but Jackie, he is not afraid with the false promise and the Aegis, and now Fearless comes back in with the Vortex. That's it. GG has to be called. They can't defend surely. They're gonna try, but Jackie is still alive. The Aegis wears off, and there's the GG call. MTG. How do they keep doing it, John? Over and over again. This is down, and it's like It's like a fire just gets lit underneath their asses and suddenly they can just play better.
Yeah, that's a wild back and forth.